parents of the JCI and also the forces behind beyond syllabus. Thank you for bestowing on me this award. When I was about to leave the house, my wife asked me, "What is this award for?" Lot of time, there has been a tremendous amount of efflux of time since I demitted office as chairman of Federal Bank and subsequently as executive director of Muthoot Finance. Although I am still active in the financial sector space, why suddenly I am being remembered and awarded like this? I asked Kishore because both Mr. Venu and of course Kamakshi, they have deep-rooted connection with education. My connection with education is confined to only two assignments that I used to handle. As a member of the governing council of Guruvayurappan Institute of Engineering at Ettimadani at Coimbatore, and of course the Muthoot Institute of Engineering Technology at close to Kochi. So why suddenly? So then Kishore assured me that it is in recognition of what I have done in the banking space. Two thoughts come to my mind. I don't want to prolong this speech. Suffice it to say that since you have a very thin attendance, thanks to Chittilapalli Foundation organizing a competing program on the other side, I saw so many of them going. I also saw the forces behind that. So that must be the reason for this. But nevertheless, fewer could always be sweeter. I'll leave with you just two thoughts about one is that we are passing through a very, very tumultuous time. Venu, of course, correctly raised that issue. This is a big journey that we are starting as a country to become a real economic force in the world, to become a 5 trillion economy. And at in that journey, what is going to be the most important critical factor for us is the youth of India, who will constitute, if you look at the age profile, they will be constituting close to 65% of those below the age of 35, which is as big as the population of Europe. And this is the strength of India. And the youth of India, in that respect, is the one which I think will require to learn a lot beyond syllabus and becomes topical that way, right from the school days. I'm told in Japan, they don't teach you anything of subjects till the class 5. They teach you only civic sense, social interaction, social skills, things like that, and of course, national pride. And as a society, if you travel to Japan, I have not gone, but my friends say, you can touch the discipline in the air. So a society like that has got evolved because right from the word go, if you look at the history also, Japan's history has been the pride they feel in their nation, in their race. Whereas compared to that, if you look at the state of affairs of our youth today in India, it is a very deplorable state of affairs. So if the youth is to become the coalescing force for our journey forward, what is it that we can do in the syllabus and beyond syllabus? That I think is a very, very significant thing. And during my 50 years of interaction with various people in the banking and financial sector space, you come across with very, very important occasions where you select people for various jobs. The skill kit of these people, I have always found, when you deeply analyze, is not what actually we should be looking at. And personally, I used to always think that the attitude of the man or the boy or the girl ultimately decide what she is going to become. I studied agriculture. My own personal example is that, and when I gravitated to banking, initially during my probation days, because in SBI, during a probation day, you have to start working as a peon right from the basics. And when the complicated accounting entries of SBI was being learned as I do it, I used to find that the curiosity I had as an agricultural graduate, not connected with banking, was superior to people who had taken MSc in molecular biology. Because at that time, IAS, we used to attract a lot of talent. We had people from MTech holders, people in molecular biology, which at that time was a very special subject. And usually you give them a higher cerebral power. So I found I could pick up these things much faster than them. And I knew my IQ was not comparable to that of theirs. But the only difference was my attitude and my aptitude. Aptitude to learn, attitude to be one among them, that kind of. So I think our syllabuses need to be dramatically changed in the sense that how do we make these people prepare themselves for courses? Even now, when I am interviewing people, what strikes you very straight on the face is that the absolute lack of what you call as finesse, if you want to put it, the real lack of finishing touches to what these people have acquired over a period of time. Be it in the academic field, be it in the social skills that they have, inability to talk, inability to face the interviewer, and despite having a fund of knowledge in the subject, the inability to express. So every college and institution must have a finishing school where at least 3 months we should be giving courses to these people. And the other thing I wanted to share is that as we progress, I think the youth of India is going to ultimately decide the future of this country. And in that regard, I think a tremendous amount of nation building has to happen. I am fond of repeating this. Despite all the cerebral powers that Kerala claims, we have never been able to build an institution of excellence here. You forget about the IITs, IIT Bangalore or Indian Institute of Science. Even a college which is focusing on humanities and subjects like that, the kind of reputation that Christian College is today having, you don't have anything comparable to that in Kerala. Why? It's a question all of us should ask. Why, despite all the accomplishments, our status in terms of literacy, etc., and that I think is, you talk to any parent, the moment the child is out of the so-called SSLC or the 10th standard, either they send them out to Chennai if it is possible, or they send them to Bangalore. The only thing is the creation of an environment where the competitive forces are there. I will conclude with one personal example. When I was chairman of Federal Bank, we took a decision, despite the bank being in a turnaround stage, we took a decision to acquire about 5 to 6 blocks of apartments in Bombay. About 200 to 250 apartments. And told everyone who becomes a scale 2 officer, he has to go and serve outside Kerala. And when they were offered an apartment with the facilities there, many of them grabbed that option. And when I interact with the children, the fathers now, they all give all respect to me because the fact that they went to Bombay, the children studied there, that totally transformed their lives. Most of the children became, they went to IITs, they took up IIM, etc., etc. The environment was perfect. The competitive environment it was providing. I think we should all strive together. Some principles are here, those involved in education. I think that's the kind of journey that we should be molding for our youngsters. And on that note of hope, I hope all of us will strive together. Thank you, Murali. Thank you, Santosh. Thank you, Venugopal, for the kind words spoken to me. I used to meet your mother at the Fine Arts Hall. How is she?
She's okay.
She's okay. Thank you very much. All the best.